Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
What is the difference between a Democrat and a socialist? The greatest crisis today is not the Middle East, it's not Iraq, it's Syria, but it's climate change.
All the people don't have freedom, all the people don't have justice, and all the people don't have power, so that means none of us do.
The big government lovers painted a picture of doom and gloom in 2011.
The future must not belong to those who slander the Prophet of Islam.
We see it in the STEM program. You know, people have talked about this STEM program being such a great deal.
Welcome to the Abolitionist Roundtable, your all-access pass to the 2016 Black Conservative Revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, here are your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
Good morning. This is Phil Stargell of the Abolitionist Roundtable of Michigan, and I'm sitting in the captain's chair this morning, and we have a show for you. We're going to try to get the audience involved in this particular conversation because I'm at a point in life where I believe that what I've been doing in supporting political people that I thought were role models for me, as a matter of fact, and then I find that they are no better than what I've been fighting all my life, and that is bigotry and racism, and we have those same things springing up in our party, and is raising its ugly head in the Republican Party. So what I want to do this morning is I want to ask everybody out there, are you happy with the direction of the Republican Party? The reason why I ask you that is I see a very, very angry and just a ridiculous direction that we are going in. And last night we seen people protesting against the front runner of the Republican Party. They locked him in his airplane, wouldn't let him out. And so, you know, folks, this has got to stop. And the only way we can stop that is we got to get out there and we got to stand up for what we believe. Because, like, this country has been turned into a just a tossed salad of stupidity. I think that Ted Cruz asked the question, have we lost our minds? I believe we have. And so what I want to do this morning is I'm gonna go off of the agenda, and I'm going to ask again, you know, are you happy with the direction that the political winds are going? Are you happy with the direction of the Republican Party? If you are, in fact, a Republican and you vote Republican. But I know, as a Republican myself, I'm not happy at all with the Republican Party. And, I mean, I've given up on the Democrat Party. I mean, there's no way. I mean, I think that that this morning I voiced my concern about the direction of the party with my colleagues in here, and Dell on the left, and the Mayor Janice on the right.
It's actually, I'm on the far right.
Oh, on the far right. But first of all, I'd like to just start with you, Mayor Janice. Are you happy with the direction of the party. And, well, I know you're not happy with the direction of the Democrat Party.
Well, no, I'm not happy with the direction of either party, quite frankly. But the interesting thing about those protests yesterday is the California Republican Party chairman, his name is Jim Brolte, he downplayed the violence. So the Republican Party doesn't circle the wagons around their own front runner.
Right.
I mean, my goodness, and we're going to allow this kind of lawlessness and call it protest.
Yeah.
He claims that every president he's campaigned for in the Republican Party has been protested. I don't think we've ever seen images of the kind of protests that took place yesterday in any presidential election in my lifetime.
We've seen something similar in Chicago. You remember?
Well, I'm not talking about Chicago this year.
Democrat Party.
But I don't remember California protests of Republican presidential candidates in elections past. I just don't remember it. But he's downplaying it as if this is just typical normal behavior. And that's where we need to draw the line. There is a distinct line between Tea Party type protests where you carry signs, you carry flags, you pass out flyers, you advocate for liberty, get government out of my life, and then on the opposite side you watch Democrat protesters turn violent and jump on cars. That man who's shown over and over and over again jumping on that police car ought to have been immediately arrested.
Yes, he should.
Immediately, right in front of the public.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, what I spoke about Chicago, I'm talking about 1964. In Chicago,
I was still interested in boys back then. Well, actually, I was still interested in boys, but
but that was the rise of the Chicago 7 and all of that. You remember that was a Democrat riot, and they turned it into a riot by the police because they were trying to enforce law and order. So, I don't know if you probably didn't.
I told you, I wasn't paying attention. I was very young, quite frankly. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't remember that either, but I read about it, Phil. But, absolutely.
Well, that was the rise of Bill Ayers and
the Students of Democratic Society.
All of those guys,
Well, you're right. All those groups, some of these groups are still behind some of these young people, agitating them and pushing them out there today.
How many of the people that were out there are sons and daughters of people that were influenced by Bill Ayers and what's
Bill
that
Ayers
guy's
was
name?
there in Chicago in the middle of the protest.
Yes,
it wasn't
exactly
even his kids; it was him himself.
No, what I'm saying, because he was in the college. He's a professor at a college.
Oh, exactly. And that's what just really boggles my mind is why do people like that get jobs in our public universities? Why?
Exactly what they're doing now.
Yeah.
For making a seat change in the culture of this country.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, they've torn the culture apart.
That's right.
It isn't a change in culture. It's a destruction of the culture.
Right.
And
you're right. It is absolutely a destruction of the culture because who would have think 6 months ago? This is how fast it's moving.
Exactly right.
6 months ago, we would be talking about a male with a beard going into a bathroom with Janice.
Yeah.
Right.
Who would ever think we would be called a bigot if I don't agree that a male should go into a bathroom. Yeah. This is how fast the culture. This is how fast the elites
and look what they did. They Kurt Schilling, a hero in the baseball mound. They fired him because he showed a picture of
and
asked the question, would you want this person going in the bathroom with your daughter?
You know what, I do have a little side note on that. For example, this poor creature called Bruce Jenner.
Yes.
I mean, he's a poor creature. You've got to feel sorry for him. But on all the pictures that I see, he appears to be a woman. Now, if he were wandering around the airport, flying from one place, point A to point B, and you were there as well, and you saw that person walk into the ladies' bathroom, you wouldn't think twice. But if you saw that person walking into the men's bathroom where he really belongs, it would be an uproar.
Yes.
So I mean, there must have been these poor creatures called transgenders in the world that have gone into women's bathrums forever, and we didn't know about it.
They are sectioning off these different, what do you call it? Different, transgenders and homosexuals and
they splitting them all, trying to make them all kind of different groups.
And what they're saying to you is that, you know, there hasn't been any incidents in the bathrooms because of that. But just think back a little bit further when it was a universal dislike of the idea of people not having the privacy in these places.
Right.
You know, we've killed 60 million babies because of privacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now what do we got? We got, you know, throw that all out the window.
Right.
But here's the thing. They closed down those public restrooms. You know, you couldn't hardly find a restroom at one time because there was so much homosexual activity going on in these bathrooms.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to come to. We're no longer going to have restrooms
exactly
in public places. And then what happens? I mean, we're all human, for goodness sakes. It's just, like you say, a corruption of our morals, a corruption of our rules, a corruption of our laws. It's insidious.
And all the naked communists, you know, all of that was to break down the morals of the society and have a moralist, godless society where anything goes and everything is gone.
That's
right. So that's where we are. But I want to give a little bit more to this with the idea about Dennis Hastert. You know, we talked about Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House. What did he do? He's headed to jail because he did something that they say doesn't happen. He was molesting young boys as a teacher.
Exactly.
And as a coach. They said that this man actually pulled a chair up into the shower where the boys were taking showers and sit there and watch them take showers.
Isn't that something?
You know, so what's to say that transgender person isn't coming into these bathrooms and just watching people? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that. That's right.
We don't know what his proclivity is. You know, his sexual picadillo is. You know, you just don't know, because what they're telling you is, well, homosexuals are not pedophiles. Pedophiles are the only one that molest children.
Right.